Greetings, family. Blessings, brothers and sisters. We are back once again for another installment of our G.O.C.C. Fit series where we are discussing all things fitness and nutrition. We have been going through vitamins A through K, and now we are going into our minerals. All right. And so just before we get going, let me just open this up here with scripture from Ecclesiasticus or Sirach. All right, let me find it here. We go to Sirach 30, verse 15. It says, health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. We're going to come back to the scripture here in a moment, but that's the scripture that we use for this particular nutritional series that we're doing here. And pull this up. And so, again, this is G.O.C.C. Fit, and I'm your host, brother and elder, personal trainer, certified personal trainer, nutritionist, and health coach, Ramar. And we talk about nutrition, right? And we talk about our health. And for a lot of people may not understand and realize is that it's an investment. So when we read the scripture and it talks about health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. All right. So anybody out there knows gold is an investment. Okay. Wealth, money, all these things we're talking about are an investment, things that we need to have to survive, and understanding that our health being in a optimal place is above any investment out there that one can invest in. So the same way you would invest in like a car or a house or maybe a wardrobe, whatever tangible things that you would invest in and put your money towards, how much are we investing and putting towards our health and our bodies? And when I say investing, I'm talking about research, taking the time to research and understand the things out there that are for our health. Then taking the research or the information that we've received and now applying it and taking those things and investing, taking our money, our time, our energy, and now investing it into our bodies so that we can have, good health. We can have length of days, all these things. So I think for a lot of people, an investment in your body isn't something that most people tend to think about. Okay, I think for most people, when it comes to eating, it's looked at as something that, everything that you eat has to taste good. Like everything that you put in your mouth, it has to hit the cravings. It has to hit the taste buds, right? It has to be super filling. And, we more so eat for those purposes when we really should be more so eating for, okay, is what I'm putting in my body actually nutritious? Does it have nutrients in it? right? Because every bite that you take of what you put in your body is either healing you or killing you, right? And you would want to be doing far above and beyond more eating of things that are healing you than are killing you. Doesn't mean that you can't eat things that maybe aren't the best to eat, right? But that should be more so a treat. Eating these things should not be a everyday or consistent part of our diet and our lifestyles when it comes to our health, right? So again, Sirach 30 and 15, health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Okay. And so, again, we went through vitamins A through K, and the last installment we did of G.O.C.C. Fit, we went in and we started the beginning of our mineral portion of nutrition. And so for those who were there or saw it, we talked all things iron, and, starting with iron because, I believe that iron is one of the most important minerals, if not the most important mineral for our bodies. And the reason being is because iron is not necessarily easy to get in the diet, especially if you aren't paying attention to, eating the things that would have iron in them. And because iron is not necessarily the easiest absorbed mineral. And so what you have is you have a huge iron deficiency epidemic in the world because of this. Oops. Right? You have a huge iron deficiency. And for those of you out there may be familiar, I'm pretty sure most of you probably have heard of, if not at least familiar with Dr. Sebi. But Dr. Sebi raved about how important iron is, and it's the bar none of minerals. And how that iron is magnetic, and how iron actually, it draws in all the other minerals to it. And without the iron, then you don't have the ability to then, as a magnet, draw in all the other minerals and drag them in. Okay. And so that brings us up to today, which it was kind of a toss up what I was going to go, which mineral we were going to talk about next, because there were two other minerals that I would say would be in second place, and they maybe a tie for second place. But the mineral that I decided to go with, that I chose, that I felt would be the next most important to iron, is zinc. So our broadcast and live stream for today is all things zinc. All things zinc. All right. So I'm pretty sure, especially when 2020 happened, and, all those things happening with 2020, and the what they said was, killing people, the sickness and all of that, a mineral that was heavily promoted was zinc, for the sake that it is a good immune booster. Right. So we're going to talk about, what is zinc, the benefits of zinc, where can we find zinc in our diets, and stress the importance of zinc for those out there who may not be aware of how important zinc is. So let's go ahead over here to healthline.com. We have zinc, everything you need to know. Zinc is an essential nutrient found in a variety of plant and animal foods, along with supplements. It plays a key role in skin health, immune function, and cell growth, and may protect against acne, inflammation, and other conditions. Because your body doesn't naturally produce zinc, you must obtain it through food or supplements. All right. So our body does not create zinc. It's a mineral that's found in nature. So you must obtain it through nature, food or supplements. This article explains everything you need to know about zinc, including its functions, health benefits, dosage, recommendations, and potential side effects. So let us first understand what is zinc. Zinc is considered an essential nutrient, meaning that your body can't produce it or store it. For this reason, you must get a constant supply through your diet. Zinc is required for numerous processes in your body. So here are all the things that zinc does for your body. Okay, the body processes. So without zinc, you're not going to be able to do these things. Your body's not going to be able to process these particular functions. We have gene expression. So when we talk about our genes, our DNA, zinc is responsible for that. Enzymatic reactions, all right, when it comes to producing enzymes. Okay, our body produces enzymes, things that, fluids and whatnot that break down matter in the body. All right, enzymes and fluids that actually provide functions in the body for processes. We have immune function. So this is probably the biggest thing that people know zinc for is the immune function, right? It's an immune booster. Okay, it's great for when it comes to our immunity. We also have protein synthesis. So a really big key thing here, because we talk about protein synthesis, these are your muscles. Of course, everyone knows your muscles are what allow you to move and function. But a key point to stress within protein synthesis is that we want more muscle mass than we want fat mass. We want lean body mass. So the lean body mass is the muscle. So zinc helps our muscles synthesize. You also have DNA synthesis, which is going back to like gene expression. Our DNA able to synthesize itself. Wound healing, our wounds being able to heal. So imagine if you are wounded, you have a cut or a serious wound, without zinc in your diet, if you're deficient of zinc, now that wound can become infected and it can cause all kind of problems, not having the ability to heal yourself. Growth and development. All right. So our ability to grow, strong muscles, strong bones, all the things that we need, again, to have a healthy body, strong, healthy body. Zinc helps with that. Okay. Zinc is naturally found in a wide variety of both plant and animal foods. Foods that don't naturally contain this mineral, such as breakfast cereals and snack bars, are often fortified with synthetic forms of zinc. So you may look on your nutrition package and see zinc labeled there, but it could potentially be added or fortified within that food, typically processed foods. And that's not necessarily where you should be looking to get your zinc from. Especially since it's synthetic, right? You want to be getting zinc in a natural way. But the reason this is put into our food synthetically, just like iron, is because it's so hard to obtain in the diet. And it's hard to absorb, similar to iron, right? It says here you can also take zinc supplements or multi-nutrient supplements that provide zinc. Because of its role in immune function, zinc is likewise added to some lozenges and other natural cold treatments. So you may see cough drops or elderberry syrup or cough syrups or any of these type of things. You might see them with zinc added in because of the immune effects, the building of the immunity that zinc has. Okay. Let's see. Role in your body. What is zinc's role in our bodies? Zinc is a vital mineral that our body uses in countless ways. In fact, zinc is the second most abundant trace mineral in your body after iron and is present in every cell. So it makes sense. Again, it was a toss up between zinc and our next mineral we'll talk about, which stay tuned and we'll for the next G.O.C.C. fit, and you'll see what that mineral is. But here it is after iron, iron being number one most abundant trace mineral in our body, zinc is the second most. So it only makes sense that iron is the most important trace mineral and that zinc is the second most when they're 1 and 2 as far as their abundance in our bodies, being found in our body. Zinc is necessary for the activity of over 300 enzymes that aid in metabolism, digestion, nerve function, and many other processes. In addition, it's critical for the development and function of immune cells. This mineral is also fundamental to skin health, DNA synthesis, and protein production. What's more, body growth and development relies on zinc because of its role in cell growth and division. So if you're not getting the proper amounts of zinc in your diet, then your body can't grow, then you're going to be stunted in your growth. So really, we're going to come to find out a very important mineral for children, pregnant moms, lactating mothers, as the infants become into their later stages of childhood, those are the years of your growth. The biggest times of your development and growth as a person. And so zinc not in your diet enough to meet the standard can lead into development issues, growth stunting and things like that. Zinc is also needed for your senses of taste and smell. So talked about it earlier. Why do we eat a lot of times? Well, 1, because we're hungry, but 2, because we eat because we're craving. And there's a taste that we're looking for. Our taste buds are telling us we want that food. Well, without zinc in our diets, then we're not going to be able, our sense of smell and taste, which are connected when it comes to when we eat. Okay. They go hand in hand. Then your ability to decipher, taste. Maybe sometimes the things that are healthier for you, you don't eat because they don't taste or smell the best. Well, maybe if you had the adequate amount of zinc in your diet and in your body, maybe that taste and smell would be different. As well as the other things that you're eating that maybe taste and smell good that maybe aren't the best things to eat. Maybe zinc would then allow you to be able to say, okay, well, this, even though in times past it smelled and tasted good, now I'm smelling and tasting this totally different, right? So these minerals really help our body to function in the proper way in so many different facets. And when we're lacking these minerals in our diet, not only are we not functioning and the processes aren't happening the proper way, but then everything now is out of order, everything's out of whack, and we're doing things, eating things that we shouldn't be because of it. Okay, because our body isn't able to identify the proper way. Our body isn't able to maybe tell us that what we're eating isn't what we should be eating. And we can tell, okay, I shouldn't have ate that, whatever it was, junk food, dessert, because now my body's telling me that it doesn't feel good after eating that. I don't feel the best. So we want to put things into our body that are going to help us feel good. Going back to the beginning of our stream, We want those things that are going to give us life, those things that are going to make you feel good, not those things that are going to make you feel bad or feel sick after eating them. It says here, because one of the enzymes crucial for proper taste and smell is dependent on this nutrient, a zinc deficiency can reduce your ability to taste or smell. So again, when we're deficient in nutrients, we can find ourselves eating and drinking all kind of things that we think, or we may not necessarily, it may not come to our mind that is bad for us. And that just comes from being deficient in, because whenever you're eating something that's not good for you, your body's going to have a response to it. But if you don't have the proper minerals, vitamins, nutrients for the process to actually happen, to trigger a response to tell you this is wrong or this is wrong, then now you're doing things and your body's not able to tell you or send you a signal that it's wrong. And this is where we find ourselves in situations of having disease, health conditions that are bad, obesity, being overweight, all these things start to come in. Abundant overeating, because our bodies are craving something that they're not getting, which is the nutrients. Our body is like sending signals to you to tell you to eat, and you're eating, but the food that you're eating is void of nutrients. And so you're getting a lot of calories, but you're not getting any minerals. You're not getting any vitamins. And now something as simple as your taste and smell don't even work properly. So the things that are good, which would normally maybe taste better or taste or smell better or smell good, now they don't because you're nutrient deficient, and now you don't want to eat them because it doesn't taste or smell the same as something that maybe is processed or something that isn't the best for you to eat. All right. So we have here health benefits. Research shows that zinc has numerous health benefits. We talked about it earlier. It boosts your immune system. Zinc helps keep your immune system strong. Who out there doesn't want a healthy and strong immune system? Right? I know I do. Who likes to be sick? Even if it's something just as simple as the cold or flu, or if you have sinus allergies, whatever it is, when things come, you want to be able to fight that off so that, you don't get it. Or if it comes, it comes quickly and it's gone. Doesn't last very long. Well, this is what zinc allows our immune system to do, is fight off disease. Because it is necessary for immune cell function and cell signaling, a deficiency can lead to a weakened immune response. Zinc supplements stimulate particular immune cells and reduce oxidative stress. For example, a review of 7 studies demonstrated that 80 to 92 milligrams per day of zinc may reduce the length of the common cold by up to 33%. So who wouldn't want to reduce a cold 33% or 1/3 of the time? So imagine you get sick with the cold. Who would rather it last 9 days versus 6 days? If you could cut 3 days off that cold and it only lasts 6 days instead of 9 days, who wouldn't take that? Now, this is just one study. You also have to where zinc can keep you from getting sick at all, to where you don't even catch a cold. But whenever you do, it can shorten the time. It says, what's more, some older research suggests that zinc supplements significantly reduce the risk of infections and promote immune response in older adults. We also have here, accelerates wound healing. Zinc is commonly used in hospitals as treatment for burns, certain ulcers, and other skin injuries. Because this mineral plays critical roles in collagen synthesis, immune function, and inflammatory response, it is necessary for proper healing. Okay, so there are certain things that are always happening in our bodies that our bodies are breaking down and need to be repaired. Well, if you're not getting the zinc, the proper amount of zinc, or you're deficient in it, your body can't repair itself. So your body's breaking down and not able to rebuild back up. Okay, the reason why it's a major development and growth mineral. It says, in fact, your skin holds a relatively high amount, about 5% of your body's zinc content. Interesting fact. So 5% of our zinc is found in our skin, right? Because of course the skin is one of the first things, the first line of defense to get damage that needs to be healed. While a zinc deficiency can slow wound healing, supplementing with zinc can speed recovery in people with wounds. For example, in a 12-week study in 60 people with diabetic foot ulcers, those treated with 50 milligrams of zinc per day experienced significant reductions in ulcer size compared to a placebo group. So you may even find external zinc, whether you may call it lotions or healing balms, because of the effect that zinc has on healing the body. May reduce the risk of certain age-related diseases. Zinc may significantly reduce your risk of age-related diseases such as pneumonia, infection, and age-related macular degeneration. Zinc may relieve oxidative stress and improve immune response by boosting the activity of T cells and natural killer cells, which help protect your body from infection. Other adults who supplement with zinc in some older studies experience improved influenza vaccination response, reduced risk of pneumonia, and boosted mental performance. All right, so we even see where zinc can help our sharpness of mind. Okay, we see pneumonia being a lung condition that can be fatal. Zinc has the ability to deal with that, whether it's keep it at bay or help fight against it should you contract it. In fact, one 2007 study determined that 45 milligrams per day of elemental zinc may decrease the incidence of infection in older adults by nearly 66%. Additionally, in a 2013 study in over 4,200 people taking daily antioxidant supplements, vitamin E, vitamin C, and beta carotene plus 80 milligrams of zinc decreased vision loss and significantly reduced the risk of advanced AMD. All right, so we even see we see a couple things here. We see zinc helping us with our vision, and we also see zinc working together with vitamins E, C, and A to help when it comes to our vision. So it's not like you can just focus on one mineral over the others, per se, right? You want a variety of diet to make sure that you're getting all these things in your diet, but some things just may require a little bit more focus. And I think zinc is another one of those minerals that requires more focus with the short supply in diet and the ability to absorb it properly. All right, now this may be a big one for some people out there who have skin issues. May help treat acne. Acne is a common skin disease that is estimated to affect up to 9.4% of the global population. Acne is driven by obstruction of oil-producing glands, bacteria, and inflammation. Studies suggest that both topical and oral zinc treatments can effectively treat acne by reducing inflammation, inhibiting the growth of P. acnes bacteria, and suppressing oil gland activity. People with acne tend to have lower levels of zinc. Therefore, supplements may help reduce symptoms. So let's take a look at what we learned so far with zinc. We've learned that 5% of zinc is in our skin, right? Because zinc is used for wound healing. So it makes sense that when it comes to skin conditions such as acne, that zinc is then going to be able to help the wound heal as it happens. Okay. Also, we talk about inflammation, growth and development, right? All these things now are able to, um, you know, happen because of zinc. Inflammation can be deterred, or our growth and development when it comes to the healing process, all of that happening through zinc. So it makes sense that having the proper amount of zinc in your diet and in your body is going to help with your skin, whether it's complexion, your body, wherever you may be having skin issues at. Zinc, okay, both internal and external factors of zinc can help with our skin. We also have here decreases inflammation. Zinc decreases oxidative stress and reduces levels of certain inflammatory proteins in our body. Okay, so zinc, in other words, is an antioxidant. It keeps our cells from dying. That's what an antioxidant is. It keeps our cells alive. And I've said it before, the longer that your cells stay alive, the longer you stay alive. Okay? Because as your cells die, you're dying, you're aging. You don't want your cells to die. You want your cells to live. You want them to live a long time. So zinc helps with the stress that causes cells to die, decreases that stress, the inflammation that can come in our bodies from different things that are happening and going on. The zinc can lower the inflammation. Okay, and where there's inflammation, you can best believe there are cells that are dying. Okay, so you got to bring that inflammation down. It's like your body's on fire where the inflammation is, and that fire, like a burning house, is burning down that part of the body. And so when you come in, you have a fire extinguisher, you put the fire out, you try to limit the fire to maybe a particular room or part of your house or piece of furniture. You can always replace that a lot easier than if your whole house burns down. Well, if your whole body is inflamed, cells are dying, then disease is coming in, and you not living long is starting to take effect. Oxidative stress leads to chronic inflammation, a contributing factor in a wide array of chronic illnesses such as heart disease, cancer, and mental decline. In a 2010 study in 40 older adults, those who took 40 milligrams of zinc per day experienced greater reductions in inflammatory markers than a placebo group. Okay, and you also have deficiency symptoms. What are some things that let us know we are deficient with zinc? Although severe zinc deficiency is rare, it can occur in people with rare genetic mutations. Breastfeeding infants whose mothers don't have enough zinc, people with alcohol addictions, and anyone taking certain immune suppressing medications. Symptoms of severe zinc deficiency include impaired growth and development, delayed sexual maturity, skin rashes, chronic diarrhea, impaired wound healing, and behavioral issues. So a zinc deficiency can even have an effect on our behavior. Okay, how we behave. Okay, because we're talking about mental decline and things like that. Your mind isn't working properly. So now, especially with children misbehaving, and then of course, even adults can misbehave and act out in a way that they shouldn't. Milder forms of zinc deficiency are more common, especially in children in developing countries where diets are often lacking in important nutrients. It is estimated that around 2 billion people worldwide are deficient in zinc due to inadequate dietary intake. Since zinc deficiency impairs your immune system, increasing the chances of infection, zinc deficiency is thought to cause over 450,000 deaths in children under 5 every year. So zinc deficiency can even be fatal, especially for children, because if you're deficient in zinc and a child is trying to grow, right? Everything's developing and trying to grow, organs, all of that, and it can't, and it can no longer grow, then something's going to stop working, and it's a chain reaction and can lead to death, right? Here are the people who are at risk of zinc deficiency. People with gastrointestinal disease like Crohn's disease, meaning it's going to be even harder for you to absorb zinc because your intestines is what absorbs the nutrients from our food. If you can't absorb it, doesn't matter how much you're eating or supplementing it. Vegetarians and vegans. And you can pretty much put a vegetarian and vegan down for almost every vitamin and mineral that are going to run a risk of deficiency, which is the reason why I suggest everyone have a little bit of animal product in their diet. I don't recommend people having too much, but I don't recommend people having none unless you're dealing with a severe issue where your body is needing to heal and you have to keep the diet very alkaline with the proper medicines and herbs to help the healing. That would be the only time I could say where I could see someone being a vegan or vegetarian. But if you're vegan or vegetarian, you're going to be very, very challenged because we're talking about these vitamins and minerals. They just don't absorb the same with vegetables and fruits. There's a better absorption in animal products, lean, and that's why you eat lean animal products. If you do meat once a day, animal meat once a day, do lots of eggs. If you do dairy, get, very, grass-fed dairy products, the healthier forms of those, like maybe like your Greek yogurts or like your grass-fed cheeses and things like that. All right. Or maybe like goat milk, which is a more, easier on the body type of dairy than drinking milk, cow's milk. Okay. But when you go through and do the research, you're going to see that a lot of the vitamins and minerals are just not going to be the same as far as because there's different types within each vitamin and each mineral. There's different forms. And so the form you would find in an animal product is going to be different than the form you find in a vegetable or fruit product. Okay. And then the absorbability typically is going to be substantially better for the animal product for your body to absorb it. So if you're just getting a little bit of animal product in your diet, it goes a long way. And then the rest of the time, you can eat fruits, veggies. You can be vegan, right? People who are pregnant or breastfeeding, older infants who are exclusively breastfed, people with sickle cell anemia, people who are malnourished, including those with anorexia or bulimia, people with chronic kidney disease, people with alcohol use disorder. So, people like to drink, but you have to be careful with alcohol because alcohol depletes the body of nutrients. So if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, then you're probably going to be, your body's going to be deficient nutrient wise, and you're probably going to have some issues going on, whether you know it or not. And you can start with being overweight or obese. That's a good place to look to start for people who drink a lot of alcohol. Okay, but it's going to strip your cells of the nutrients, and almost like a blocker. So it's not that you can't drink alcohol, but you do it in moderation. Okay. Systems of mild deficiency include diarrhea, decreased immunity, thinning hair, impaired taste or smell, dry skin, fertility issues. So those who maybe are, you're married and you're having issues, you're trying to have children. Well, it could be something as simple as zinc isn't there on the male or female side that's causing you to be infertile. And impaired wound healing. Zinc deficiency is difficult to detect using laboratory tests due to your body's tight control over zinc levels. Thus, you may still be deficient even if tests indicate normal levels. Okay, so that's something else to keep in mind, is that you may not be able to determine through your doctor what your zinc levels are because of the way the body deals with zinc and basically keeps it under wraps to protect it so that it's there, and it's able to be utilized when it's needed. Doctors consider other risk factors such as poor dietary intake and genetics alongside blood results when determining whether you need supplements. Okay, so again, when it comes to these things, you can always check with your doctor to see. But if you're having any of these issues, you might just look as far as your zinc supplementation that may need to be there, as long as diet change. You need to change your diet and you're not eating the right foods. And so let's talk about diet. Where can we find zinc in our diets? Well, here we have food sources. Many animal and plant foods are naturally rich in zinc, making it easy for most people to consume adequate amounts. Foods highest in zinc include, and of course, at the top of the list, you have shellfish, which here on this channel we do not promote. We ascribe to the dietary law found in the Bible in Leviticus 11. So I would never recommend anybody eating any shellfish. But we also have meat, beef, pork, lamb, and bison. And of course, pork is also against the biblical dietary law. So I would never tell anyone to eat pork. For zinc, you have poultry, turkey, and chicken. Both are clean. Fish, you have flounder, sardine, salmon, and sole. So any type of fish with scales and fins, but those are the ones that typically have zinc the most. Legumes, which are chickpeas, lentils, black beans, kidney beans, etc. So if you notice here, the first four options for zinc on this list, I'm going to pull it up here so you can see it, are all animal products. Right? All animal products where you're mostly going to find zinc. And then the next you have legumes. Then you have nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds, cashews, hemp seeds. So your different seeds, your beans, your seeds, your nuts, also dairy products, milk, yogurt, and cheese, your eggs, whole grains, your oats, quinoa, brown rice, certain vegetables like mushrooms, kale, peas, asparagus, and beet greens are going to have zinc. It says here, animal products such as meat and shellfish contain high amounts of zinc in a form that your body easily absorbs. So your body can easily absorb zinc from animal products, and it's in a higher amount. So if you're getting the animal products in there, then you're not typically going to have an issue with zinc. Okay, that doesn't mean only eat animals and eat nothing else. A little goes a long way. It says, keep in mind that zinc found in plant-based sources like legumes and whole grains is absorbed less efficiently because of other plant compounds that inhibit absorption. So there are certain compounds called phthalates, which are in a lot of beans, whole grains, vegetables, plants, that actually inhibit zinc's ability to absorb. So you could be vegan and you're eating all these things that are high, that mainly have zinc, that are plant-based, and your body can't absorb it. You see, and this is the reason why I say the best diet is a whole food diet where you're eating lean animal meat, limited lean animal meat, a wide variety of vegetables and fruits. So that way you can cover all bases. You cover everything. And if you're doing that, then the chances of you being deficient is very, very small. But whenever you pigeonhole your diet to a certain way, outside of like for medical purposes, then now you're running the risk of deficiency, and you have to pay very close attention. And if you're not being led by a physician to make sure that you add certain things that you're going to be lacking and getting those supplemented in the right form, and you're doing this on your own and you maybe are unaware, now you can run into some serious health problems. Okay. So it says, while many foods are naturally high in zinc, certain foods such as ready-to-eat breakfast cereals and snack bars are fortified with zinc. Okay. So I talked about it last broadcast, CMOS, which has your iron in it, as well as other minerals, is a good supplement to use to make sure that you're getting your vitamins and minerals versus, let's say, a pill that you see on the shelf that says zinc on it. Okay. If it does say zinc, you want it to be plant-based, a plant-based supplement. If you're a vegan and you're already getting plant-based, then you may need to go a different route for zinc supplementation to get the kind that you would normally find in animals. Even if it was just a powdered supplement of some type of animal product, whether it was like a egg protein that's high in zinc, where you're drinking the eggs, you're not eating them. Okay. But I'm just trying to, make sure that people understand, because I know it could be a sensitive topic for some people, because I know a lot of people that once they go vegan, they think that that's the all the end all of how we're supposed to eat. And that's just not the case. It's just not true. Okay. Our bodies, you have to understand how our bodies were chemically designed in creation, and then through the fall of man, there was a change that happened. When Adam and Eve sinned, there was a chemical change in our bodies to where we now have access to death. Our bodies changed, and an atonement for sins would come through the blood of animals. So now there is a connection there going on with people and animals, to where now the animal flesh was consumed. There was something that we needed, not only from a spiritual standpoint of atonement of sins, but also a physical aspect of what our bodies needed dietarily to obtain from eating those animals. Okay. And this is the way this is all designed in nature. This is the way it's created. There's nothing that we can do about the natural order of how things are. No matter your ideology of someone who may have a vegan mind state, thinking that this is the way that you should eat. If that's what you want to do, that's your choice. But I'm just saying, when you look at even the actual order of things naturally, and how it even, in the beginning dealing with Adam and Eve, spiritually, you could even come over to the science and see the science confirms our biological makeup of how we obtain these minerals and vitamins from nature. It's going to be most easily absorbed and obtained through animals, right? And therefore, you get a little bit of animal, and then you can eat a lot of vegetables and fruits. And the animals have already taken care of a lot of what you would be deficient in by eating mostly fruits and vegetables. So yes, 80 to 90% of our diet should be fruits and vegetables, mainly vegetables over fruit, right? But that's, a more of a conversation for another day, just kind of going into what they're showing us here in this article. Because some, people who are vegan can be very adamant about veganism, and that's good that you're abstaining from eating, animals, but it should be included at least to a small amount to help you not be deficient. Okay. Toxicity and dosage recommendations. So you also have zinc toxicity, and this comes from those people that are taking supplements like a pill and they're not supplementing the right way, as well as it could be synthetic zinc. And now you're running into toxic issues of this in your body. So we have symptoms of toxicity: nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps and pain, headaches. Taking too much zinc can cause deficiencies in other nutrients. For example, chronic high zinc ingestion can interfere with your absorption of copper and iron. So you have to be very careful. If you're supplementing with zinc, and let's say you get a zinc supplement or pill, typically you want to get one that has copper in it also, because zinc will also have an effect on your copper absorption and levels. And zinc is a supplement that I would suggest that everyone supplements. All right, that's one of the ones I take. Maybe not every day, but 3 or 4 times a week, I'm taking zinc to make sure that I'm getting it because of the absorption issues. Because not every day may I eat animal products like that. And so I want to make sure that my body's getting a good amount of zinc so that I don't run into malabsorption or deficiency. It says here, reduction in copper levels have even been reported in people consuming only moderately high doses of zinc, 60 milligrams per day for 10 weeks. And so that's another reason why I say that you don't really have to supplement every day. And what this does, this also ensures that you don't run into any overdoing it, or what they may call overdoses. So I typically only supplement the vitamins or minerals that are hard to get in your diet 3 or 4 times a week or every other day, just so that I know I'm not going to run into any type of too much of it building up in my body. Even though zinc doesn't store in the body, but you don't want to get any too much of these in you at once at one given time, so that you don't run into any toxicity issues. We also have the recommended dosages here, depending on, whether you're a child, a woman, or a man. as well as if you have any absorption issues, if you have intestinal issues, any type of health conditions that could cause you to maybe need more. All those things should be determined by your doctor. Okay. Be hard to determine that on your own. It says here, if you take supplements, choose absorbable forms of such as zinc citrate or zinc gluconate rather than zinc oxide, which is poorly absorbed. Okay, so you have different types of zinc. And that's what I was saying. When you get the zinc from an animal, it's going to be different than the zinc you're getting from a plant. All right. So for vegans, you're going to have to, have a wide variety of zinc supplementation to make sure that you're meeting your intake needs. And so that is that on this particular article here. Zinc, everything you need to know from healthline.com. We're now going to shift over to our PDF from the WHO. Let me pull that up for you all here. So we have the PDF that we go through from the WHO. Vitamin and mineral requirements in human nutrition, second edition. From the WHO. All right, 1998. And then 2004. This document, which has many vitamins and minerals in it. This is a very scientific document. So I'm just going to go in here and try to get some things for you all that are easily understood. For those that are really into the science, you can read this on your own to get those real scientific insights from a document such as this. Okay, but I'm just going to hit some highlighted points here, some things we've already discussed. Okay, as we see here, role of zinc in human metabolic processes. Zinc is present in all body tissues and fluids. Okay, so you're going to find zinc everywhere in your body. Skeletal muscle accounts for approximately 60% of the total body content. So 60% of our zinc is found in our muscles. Again, because going back to what I was saying about how important zinc is, because we want lean body mass. We want muscular weight. We don't want fat mass or a high fat percentage. Okay, we don't want our muscles to have dystrophy, where we are actually dealing with muscle degeneration, where our muscles are degenerating. We want our muscles growing, strong, healthy. So zinc helps with that, and bone mass for approximately 30%. So we have 60% of the zinc found in our muscles, 30% found in our bones. So that's what we want. We want strong muscles, strong bones. That's a good, strong framework for our bodies. Okay, so 90% found there, and then 10% through other parts of our body. We know 5% is in our skin. As you keep going, it says zinc is an essential component of a large number of enzymes participating in the synthesis and degradation of carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids, as well as in the metabolism of other micronutrients. Zinc stabilizes the molecular structure of cellular components and membranes, and in this way contributes to the maintenance of cell and organ integrity. So, again, zinc helps our cells maintain their integrity as well as our organs. Okay, who doesn't want strong, stable cells and organs with strong integrity and maintenance? Well, that's what zinc does. It says, furthermore, zinc has an essential role in polynucleotide transcription and thus in the process of genetic expression. Okay, its involvement in such fundamental activities probably accounts for the essentiality of zinc for all life forms. Okay, so zinc is like the building block of the DNA molecular genetic expression. Us to be able to have DNA and genes to pass on to the next generation, zinc maintains that integrity to pass that on. All right. So when you start, seeing genetic defects and birth defects and all these things, and you can say, okay, there could be something going on with the zinc there that's brought these things about. Zinc plays a central role in the immune system, affecting a number of aspects of cellular and humoral immunity. The clinical features of severe zinc deficiency in humans are growth retardation, delayed sexual and bone maturation, skin lesions, diarrhea, alopecia. So for those primarily sisters that may be dealing with issues with hair, alopecia, we're talking about deficiency with zinc potentially. Impaired appetite. So again, remember, zinc is dealing with our senses, our smell, our taste. It's also going to affect our appetite. So when you have a zinc deficiency, you're not going to be eating right. One way or the other, your appetite, your eating is out of whack. Increased susceptibility to infections mediated via defects in the immune system and the appearance of behavioral change. We talked about that earlier. Behavioral changes, things that are happening that are not right with our behavior. Mood swings, depression, anxiety, different things with our behavior acting out. Hey, you maybe never would have thought that something simple as zinc a deficiency in zinc could be the reason that that's happening. A reduced growth rate and impairments of immune defense are so far the only clearly demonstrated signs of mild zinc deficiency in humans. So even mild deficiency, just a little bit deficiency, can affect your growth and your immunity. Zinc metabolism and homeostasis. Zinc absorption is concentration dependent and occurs throughout the small intestine. Under normal physiological conditions, transport processes of uptake are not saturated. Zinc administered in aqueous solutions to fasting subjects is absorbed efficiently, whereas absorption from solid diets is less efficient and varies depending on zinc content and diet composition. So your body is easier to absorb zinc when you're fasting. You say, well, how is that? How can I absorb zinc if I have to get it in nature and I'm fasting? Well, if you were to take like supplement form of zinc, okay, or you were to take like, let's say, first thing in the morning, you wake up and you take some sea moss and you're coming off a fast because you've been sleeping. You're breaking your fast before breakfast. you take zinc or, you know, your sea moss is your multivitamin, your multi-mineral on an empty stomach, your body's going to be able to take that, absorb it better than if you're eating it with food. It doesn't absorb the same. It says here the body has no zinc stores in the conventional sense. So your body doesn't store zinc. Okay, it's found in the body, but where it's found is being used, and then it's gone and it's looking to be replaced. It says in conditions of bone resorption and tissue uh, catabolism, zinc is released and may be reutilized to some extent. Okay, so sometimes zinc can be released in the body only to be absorbed by the bones or tissues. Okay, because it's needed. So it's being released somewhere else and it's being absorbed by the bones or tissues to be used. But the zinc doesn't store. It's not like it's a place in our body where it's just sitting there waiting to be used. If it's in your body, it's being used. It's in line to be used before it's gotten rid of. Food intake, stress situations such as fever, infection, and pregnancy lower plasma zinc concentrations, whereas, for example, long-term fasting increases it. So, if you're eating a lot, you're going to actually reduce your zinc concentration in your blood. Okay, if you're stressing out, having a lot of stress, you're dealing with, sicknesses, fevers, infection, pregnancy, all these things are going to lower the zinc in your blood. But if you're fasting and you're not eating, your body's going to hold on to it longer and it's going to be there longer. So the same way as eating, a lot of, when we're eating, zinc doesn't get absorbed as easy when we're eating. It's the same way when it comes to it being found in our blood. When we're eating a lot versus whenever we're not eating a lot, it's found more in our blood. Okay, so they go hand in hand with the absorption, the ability to absorb, and the ability for it to be in our body. All right, let's keep going here. I mean, there's a lot to kind of break down within all that, but I'm just kind of giving the just the surface level part there. Dietary sources and bioavailability of zinc. Lean red meat, whole grain cereals, pulses, and legumes provide the highest concentrations of zinc. So I know some people will say, well, red meat's bad for you. You shouldn't eat red meat. Well, you get lean red meat and you don't eat red meat all the time. I think for the most part, I might get red meat once a week, maybe twice a week. So, typically it's once a week. I'm not eating a lot of red meat. But another way that you can get the red meat in your diet and be okay as far as the digestibility of it and everything is you get ground red meat. And particularly, you want to make sure you're getting it from a good source. I would more so look to get some sirloin, pick some sirloin out at the meat market or at the grocery store and have them grind that up for you so you know what you're getting. You make sure that you're getting lean red meat and you're not getting who knows what else. But your body is easier to digest ground red meat and get a lot of good nutrients from that. Okay. Also, you can marinate red meat. I just did some steaks and I marinated them for like 3 days in some wine and some olive oil. So and some lemon, and so these things are actually helping to break down the meat, so it's already softer and breaking down. So by the time you eat it, your body doesn't have to work as hard to digest it and break it down. So just some tips there when it comes to, red meat or any lamb, chicken. You can marinate any of it. You can get the ground lamb, you can get the ground chicken. These things are easier for your body to digest than if you were to eat it maybe a whole big piece of meat. Okay. Processed cereals with low extraction rates, polished rice, and chicken, pork, or meat with high fat content have a moderate zinc content. Okay. So even though whole grain cereals, pulses, and legumes have a high concentration of zinc, remember there are certain um, elements within those plant-based foods that actually prevent your body from really being able to absorb the zinc. They're in high concentration, but not easily absorbed. Okay. And then the middle, you have the chicken, meat with higher fat content. They're more in the middle when you're dealing with zinc. Rice, processed cereals are going to be in the middle because the processed cereals are going to put zinc fortification, put it in the actual processing. It has here fish, roots, and tubers, green leafy vegetables, and fruits are only modest sources of zinc. Okay, so those are your different levels: high, medium, and moderate. And again, the animal forms of zinc are going to be more absorbed. So you could eat fish, and the zinc in the fish, you're going to be able to, let's say if there's 5 milligrams of zinc in the fish, and you absorb 4 milligrams of it, versus your legumes may have 20 milligrams per serving, but you only absorb 2 milligrams, excuse me. So even though the fish has less zinc, your body is able to absorb it better than the beans, even though the beans have more. See that? So when we're talking about the levels of zinc in the actual food, you also have to determine whether it's animal based or plant based to determine how much you're actually going to get out of that food that's actually in the food. All right. We have here the utilization of zinc depends on the overall composition of the diet. Experimental studies have identified a number of dietary factors as potential promoters or antagonists of zinc absorption. Soluble organic substances of low relative molecular mass, such as amino and hydroxy acids, facilitate zinc absorption. In contrast, organic compounds forming stable and poorly soluble complexes with zinc can impair absorption. In addition, competitive interactions between zinc and other ions with similar physiochemical properties can affect the uptake and intestinal absorption of zinc. The risk of competitive interactions with zinc seem to be mainly related to the consumption of high doses of these other ions in the form of supplements or in aqueous solutions. However, at levels present in food and at realistic fortification levels, zinc absorption appears not to be affected, for example, by iron or copper. Okay, so there's a little bit of science there for you. And I'll summarize it all once we get to the end to make it real simple. It's real simple, right? They're just giving you the scientific backdrop of how it all works. The availability of zinc in the diet can be improved by reducing the phytate content and including sources of animal protein. I'm going to read that again, and then I'm going to blow it up here on my screen so you can see it. Okay, because I don't have anything against vegans. I, at one point, was doing a lot of vegan stuff. But what I come to find out is that vegans can be very zealous to where they're trying to push that on others, as if you don't do veganism like them, then you're bad, right? And I'm not saying that everybody thinks like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some of my experiences, you have to be careful because I see how nasty people that are vegans, how they look down on other people who aren't, talk crazy. And that could be said for anything, any, religion. People can do that who are zealous about their faith and everything. Have to be careful. Understanding that there is health benefits in everything that God created to be received with Thanksgiving. There's health benefits, and that can't be denied. It doesn't mean that everything is for everybody. Okay. So, yes, there can be some instances to where eating animal is problematic for certain people for whatever reason, health condition or otherwise. It might not be for that person, but that doesn't mean that the next person can't eat it and be fine. But I'm going to read it here again. I'm going to blow it up for you all. It says here, the availability of zinc from the diet can be improved by reducing the phytate content and including sources of animal protein. What is that saying? What is the phytate content? The phytate content are those plant-based foods that have phytates. Phytates are actually substances in plant-based foods that actually block absorption of zinc, other minerals like iron. Okay, so the plant is designed to hold on to these minerals, and these phytates help them to not lose them. Well, that means when you now eat these plants that you're not going to be able to get, it's going to be hard to get the absorption of those things, minerals such as zinc, from the plants. How do you combat that? You include sources of animal protein, because with animal protein, it's not heavily bound by anything to keep you from getting the absorption of it. All right. So I hope that's clear. And that's the science. I mean, that's just the science of it. And again, when you go back and you understand the biblical spiritual side of things with the fall of man, yes, before mankind fell, we didn't eat animals, but our bodies were different. Our bodies weren't in a place of sickness, disease, or death. All right. Once Adam and Eve sinned, the body, chemical biology, constitution changed. It all changed. Right? Animal sacrifice, blood atonement had to now come into play. And with that came the consumption of animals. So it was made in the natural order of things for us to get what we need health-wise from those animals, as well as getting them from plants too. Okay? That's an overall backdrop of people. Again, different individuals have different needs. So that's not a across the board what every person has to do or what may work for every single person. But as a whole, that's the way it works in science. All right? Because I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to offend anybody, but I can only give you the facts. Okay? And it shouldn't be and I'm not saying this is the case, but a thing where it becomes a big back and forth thing. Because I'm sure those people that are, adamant about just eating plant-based diets will have their argument or stance on it. But that's not my place to be here to go back and forth on that, right? Just giving you the information. Do what you will with the information, okay? Populations at risk for zinc deficiency. The central role of zinc in cell division, protein synthesis, and growth is especially important for infants, children, adolescents, and pregnant women, as is most vitamins and minerals. Okay, these are those people that are going to, um, because there's a lot of growth happening in this particular demographic. When you talk about infants, children, adolescents, pregnant women, there's a lot of growing happening here and in all these people, right? So you're going to be nutrient dependent. And so these are the people that are at most risk for deficiency. So I have to keep that in mind. Parents have to make sure that children aren't eating a bunch of junk food, are eating whatever they want. It's important that they're eating a very well balanced diet so that they can get the best growth out of the times of their growing years. Pregnant women have to make sure that they're not just going crazy with taste buds and eating all type of crazy combinations of foods because their cravings are going crazy, right? Have to make sure that you have a focused effort to get the proper nutrients in your diet for yourself as well as your growing baby. And then even after birth, when you're breastfeeding, to make sure that your baby's getting the proper nutrients through the breast milk. Okay. These groups suffer most from an inadequate zinc intake. All right, let's keep going here. Results from zinc supplementation studies suggest that a low zinc status in children not only affects growth, but is also associated with an increased risk of severe infectious diseases. Increased risk of severe infectious diseases. All right. So you want your children to be healthy. You want them to grow. Well-balanced diet with the focus on zinc. Other studies indicate that the incidence of acute lower respiratory tract infections and malaria may also be reduced by zinc supplementation. See that? You notice how none of this was mentioned as a, these aren't, this is not typically what you hear as a solution when it comes to these particular things that we're dealing with in health. We're usually given an alternative solution for health. Pay very close attention here, right? Prevention of suboptimal zinc status and zinc deficiency in children by an increased intake and availability of zinc could consequentially have a significant effect on child health in developing countries. Okay. I think we're wrapping up here on this. Again, there's a lot, as you can see, a lot of data, science. You could definitely read on your own time. But I just want to make sure I'm hitting some of the, just stressing the main points, hitting from two different sources, showing how from two different sources you're getting, parallel information. All right. For the most part. And again, this is the vitamin and mineral requirements in human nutrition, second edition by the WHO and the FAO. Okay. So you can always check this out and go over the information for zinc as well as others. And that is going to wrap up our content for this live stream. And again, in summary, just kind of summarizing things. Animal products is where you're going to get the best absorption from minerals such as zinc. Doesn't take a lot. If you can get just a little bit in your diet, as well as I believe that zinc is a supplement that we all should be supplementing. at least a few times in a week. You're taking a zinc supplement for the absorption issues alone, both in plants and animals. And it is next to iron, from what I can see, the second most important mineral. It does so much for the body, so we want to make sure that we're not neglecting or missing out on its benefits by eating a whole foods diet, a diverse diet of variety, and then looking into a good supplement. Again, depending on the person, but typically, if you are somebody who is an omnivore, you're eating the animal products, then you can get a plant-based zinc product supplement with, make sure it has copper in it as well, because copper gets depleted from supplementing with zinc, so you don't want to miss out and then become deficient in copper. And and that pretty much wraps things up for this installment of GOCC Fit, all things zinc. I pray that this information has been edifying to everyone out there, and that everyone is taking their health seriously and investing in their health, not only in the kitchen, but also in exercise, and that you don't neglect it. You want to live a long life. You want to live a good quality of life. You want to be able to, live life not hurting in your body, feeling good in your body, feeling good, being able to move around, and all these things. So eating healthy and exercising allows us the ability to do all that. All right. So pray everyone continues to hopefully build upon the information we're bringing out week in and week out with the different content here for GOCC Fit, dealing with the nutrients right now, vitamins and minerals, and that you're hopefully as motivated and inspired when it comes to having good health as I am. The reason why I started this series, because of my passion for health, eating healthy, living healthy, and having a long, prosperous, healthy life. So until next time, I pray you brothers and sisters are well in your health, and God bless.